What's up, guys? So Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills just took out the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-24 on the road. This was a massive win for the Buffalo Bills. This was the first road playoff win for the Buffalo Bills since the 1992 AFC Championship game. Right, so obviously that's the first road playoff win that Josh Allen has had in his career. Right, what was the big noise surrounding the Buffalo Bills coming into this postseason? Well, two things. One, Josh Allen better get to the Super Bowl. He better win it all this year, right? Because there's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Joe Burrow. There's no Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen is the guy in the postseason this year. He is by far the best quarterback in the playoffs. So this feels like if there's ever a year that the Bills are going to win it all, it would be this year. 100%. But one of the big narratives as well was the Bills are probably going to have to go on the road and win 3 playoff games in order to get to the Super Bowl. That's tough to do. That's really, really tough to do. And they drew one of the hottest teams in all of football. They had 13 wins in the regular season and was on a crazy win streak coming into the postseason. Heading into their backyard. Trevor Lawrence is on fire. Liam Cohen has this Jacksonville team humming, man. They're playing at a super high level. And Josh Allen goes out there and is a damn superhero, man. 80% completion percentage, 308 total yards, 3 touchdowns, 108.7 rating. Josh Allen was special, man. It was one of the best games that I've ever seen Josh Allen play. And I know he's played a lot of great games, and right, this narrative that Josh Allen isn't good in the postseason or some of these just ridiculously stupid narratives that you see about Josh Allen and the Bills, they're just ridiculous. Josh Allen has never lost a playoff game. His defense has lost playoff games for him. And at the end of the day, it's a team game, right? Josh Allen's got to go out there and do his part and be Superman, which we know that, and he was yesterday. But the defense also has to show up, and we have to give credit to the Buffalo Bills defense. They were spectacular yesterday. They were. Tre'Davious White on that defensive side of the ball for the Bills, he was one of the best players on the field yesterday. He was fantastic. Every time I look up, Tre'Davious White knocking a ball away. Sticky coverage. And at the end of the game, getting the tip and then Cole Bishop getting the game-sealing interception. I mean, it was just massive. It was a great team effort from the Buffalo Bills, right? And this is what happens with all the Buffalo Bills stuff with Josh Allen. And listen, I'm a massive Josh Allen fan. But it's always when the Bills win, Josh Allen gets all the credit. And then when the Bills lose, well, it's blame everybody else and it's never Josh Allen's fault. Now, I'm not saying that, most of the time it is the Buffalo Bills defense letting them down. But at the end of the day, it's a team game. And Josh Allen, he beyond did his part, man. James Cook had 15 carries for 46 yards. He was averaging 3.1 yards per carry yesterday. This Jacksonville defense, I think, led the league in terms of shutting down opposing run games. They are unbelievably good against the run. And they have a very good overall defense, a very opportunistic defense. And Josh Allen, he was perfect. They didn't give the football away, man. They did not give the football away. They had the 1 turnover, but outside of that, Josh Allen played really well. 340 yards of total offense. They did have 7 penalties, which was a little uncharacteristic of the Buffalo Bills. They were 7 of 14 on 3rd down, 2 of 2 on 4th down, 3 and 3 in the red zone. 3 for 3 in the red zone, right? And I think Josh Allen, he's one of the most unstoppable forces in the red zone. He just is, man. He just absolutely is. And again, the Jacksonville Jaguars were red hot coming into this game. And the throws that Josh was making, I knew that this game, as they all did in the postseason this weekend, pretty much outside of the Patriots-Chargers game, they all came down to the wire. They all did. And is there a quarterback in the NFL that you want the ball in the hands of in the final minute to lead a game-winning drive than a guy like Josh Allen? There's a few names that come to mind, right? You got Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, you got Burrow, you got Lamar Jackson. There's very few guys that you truly trust in these moments. And Josh Allen's one of those guys. And he went down there and absolutely delivered. And that throw to Brandon Cooks, that was the throw of the game. That was 100% the throw of the game. Pressure barreling down in Josh Allen's face, standing in there, makes a beautiful throw down the field to Brandon Cooks. And people talk about how bad the receiving core is of Buffalo, and I've sat up here and said, look, are they the best receiving group? Are they the best skill group in the NFL? No. They have one of the best rushing attacks, which was shut down yesterday, which I anticipated. But this Bills offensive line has been very underrated all year. I know that they've been a little suspect in pass pro, but Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, and the guys up front, they do a great job. They really, really do, man. And for the most part, they played a really good game. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are very good against the run, which we know. So they took James Cook out of the game. So it's okay, Josh Allen, go out there, be you, and win us this game. And Khalil Shakir made some big catches. Shavers made some important catches. Dalton Kincaid catching the touchdown, right? And they have one of the best tight end duos in football, Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Right, and then Brandon Cooks, what an acquisition that was at the trade deadline. And everywhere Brandon Cooks goes, this guy makes an impact. He just does is a downfield vertical threat. For sure, he's got good speed, good hands, right? I know people clown on him for making some drops. That pass that they said he dropped the other day, that in that game, that was not a drop. That was not a drop. I thought that was a clear catch by Brandon Cooks. That's just my opinion. But either way, 12 catches for 182 yards for Khalil Shakir, man. And Shaq Thompson on defense, he was flying around at 8 tackles and an interception, right? And those 2 interceptions, I mean, the last one for Trevor Lawrence, trying to fit it in over the middle to Jacoby Myers, got tipped up in the air and picked off. I mean, the bottom line is the Bills' defense, they played good enough to get the job done yesterday. And I was worried because that quarterback sneak, I mean, that little tush push, man, with Josh Allen running the tush push, that's the most unstoppable one in the league. I know that the Eagles were getting all the attention for it. How about when the Bills run it? You ain't stopping Josh Allen on a tush push. It just ain't happening, man. And they basically get, a 10-yard tush push down to the 1-yard line? Right, and then they run it in with Josh, and I'm like, oh, man, they might have scored a little too soon. They left a minute on the clock, but Jacksonville had no timeouts left, and I'm like, here you go, Buffalo. And I'm sitting there going, oh, man, don't tell me Jacksonville's going to go down here and win this game. And you know the kicker they have, Cam Little, even though he missed a field goal right before the half, he's one of the best kickers in the league. He's got the record for, longest field goals, 68 and 67 yards. Right, so when you got a dangerous leg on the opposing side, I was getting nervous for Josh. I'm like, it's good conditions down in Jacksonville. But at the end of the day, the defense came up big, man. It came up big. And the Jags, they put up 359 total yards of offense. Right, they were 5-9 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth, 3 and 4 in the red zone. I mean, they played a pretty good game offensively, Jacksonville. But the 2 turnovers, you can't do it against the Bills, man. You can't do it against a juggernaut like Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And what I thought was so impressive about Josh Allen was he played discipline and did not get greedy. Sometimes we see, like especially early in the career of Josh Allen, especially down in the red zone, he tries to be Superman too much to where he then tries to make this ridiculous play and this all-platform throw, and he ends up throwing a boneheaded interception. There was none of that yesterday. There was not a single play in this game where I went, what is Josh doing? What is Josh doing? It was a really well-called game by Joe Brady, all-around great job by the Buffalo Bills. And Sean McDermott, I keep saying he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL, man. He is, just because you can't go out there and get past, the dynasty Chiefs, right? Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Mahomes. I mean, the Wicked Witches of the AFC West, right? So if you can't get through them, I mean, it is what it is. And it was down to the wire every single time. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, without question, this is their year to win the AFC and go win the Super Bowl. Now they got the Denver Broncos, the number 1 seed, and I think the Broncos are frauds. I think that the Denver Broncos are going to lose this game, right? Whether it's in Buffalo, in Denver, which in this case it is, which is a very difficult place to play. They got a very good defense, very well coached, right? Sean Payton, one of the best coaches in the league. Vance Joseph on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I think that Buffalo heads into Denver and wins another close one, right? And it just feels like all these games are basically coming down to the wire. So the bottom line is this. Josh Allen played one of the best games that I have seen him play, man. That was a top defense in the NFL, and to draw a red-hot Jacksonville team in the very first round is wild. And I said, I picked the Bills to win the game, but I'm like, if anyone in the AFC is taking out the Buffalo Bills, I see it being the Jaguars or being the New England Patriots. But I thought the Jaguars were probably the biggest threat to the Bills. And the fact that Josh Allen went there with basically no running game. Go ahead and make your money, Josh. These are the moments where when you have these elite quarterbacks, this is what puts Josh Allen and these guys into a special tier, a special category. There's no run game. You got to go out there and win the game with your arm, man. And the fact that Gabe Davis goes down, he gets injured, right? They've been banged up. Josh Allen, this was a physical football game, man. Josh Allen was getting banged up numerous times. I'm like, he's in the blue tent, or is he all right? He smashed his head off the ground. And it was one thing after another. And I was getting these bad vibes in the beginning of the game. And it was just a gritted out performance by the Bills and Josh Allen. And I just feel like the Bills, they kind of built off the toughness that they were seeing from their quarterback and Josh Allen. And the experience that the Bills have in the postseason, it's valuable. It just is. And these got to have it moments, having that experience. You just saw the calm, composed collectiveness of the Bills, man. And that was the reality. That was the reality is the Bills, they never flinched, even when they went down. Right, Liam Cohen, like I said, he's done an unbelievable job with the Jags. Unbelievable job. And Trevor Lawrence, this has been the best year of his career. Thrown for over, I think, 4,000 yards. He's been lighting it up. Parker Washington on the offensive side of the ball. Brian Thomas Johnson, right? I know that their secondary was very compromised coming into this game, which is obviously something that's going to hurt you. But those guys that stepped in, they were doing a great job. I know Newsome was struggling on the back end a little bit, but the point is, Josh Allen and the Bills, man, this is their year to win the AFC. It just is. I don't know that they're ever going to get a better window, a better playoff scenario than what they have right now in the AFC to go out there and get to the Super Bowl and win it all. And I think that they are very capable of doing it, especially when the defense can get takeaways and play like they did yesterday, because Jacksonville is, without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the best offenses that came into the postseason. They were red hot, flying all over the place, man. Passing attack. They could run the ball with Travis Etienne, and, the way Cohen's dialing up plays, the way the defense was flying around and getting takeaways and stuffing the run. The Jags were a disastrous matchup for a lot of teams, man. They're a tough out for everybody, and I thought that if anyone was going to take out the Bills, especially right here in round one, I thought it was going to be Jacksonville taking out the Bills. But I did pick the Bills to win this game because ultimately I trusted Sean McDermott and Josh Allen in this moment more than Jacksonville, who this is kind of new to Liam Cohen and the team. But at the end of the day, the Jacksonville Jaguars had a great season, man. They won 13 games, came in here, and if Jacksonville was probably playing anybody else, I feel like New England might be able to beat Jacksonville, but I figured the Patriots and Bills were going to be the toughest matchups for Jacksonville, and unfortunately, they got the Bills, and they got the Beast, the Superman, Josh Allen in round one. Tough out for Jacksonville, but again, down to the wire, insane amount of lead changes. I think it tied, in NFL history for most lead changes in the fourth quarter. So just a special game, really fun to watch. But this nonsense of, look, Josh Allen was a superhero yesterday. We get that. And that's essentially what he has to do in order for the Bills to get where they need to go here and get to the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate goal, obviously. But the fact that their defense was flying around, you had Khalil Shakir step up and make some plays. You had Brandon Cooks, who was a true threat down the field, man. Like, Josh Allen made some big-time throws. Those quarterback sneaks were crucial. The offensive line was big in those moments. And the fact that their defense played the way they did and created takeaways against a red-hot Jags offense, we got to give the Bills defense credit, man. They balled out. Shaq Thompson was all over the place. That secondary, led by Tre'Davious White, was outstanding. But we all know, Josh Allen, when you need a win, when you got to have it and the ball is in 17's hands, good things are going to happen. I got worried because if the Bills would have lost that game and Josh Allen ran it in with a minute left, the questions would have been, what was Sean McDermott thinking by scoring that early? But on the other side, I get it. You don't want to mess around, possibly fumble the football, turn it over, disaster strikes, and the next thing you know, Jacksonville recovers it, and now you end up losing the game. So I see the different sides to it at the end of the day. But Josh Allen was Superman. The receivers made some big-time catches. Brandon Cooks was big down the field, man. And Khalil Shakir being that security blanket underneath. Dalton Kincaid as usual. And the offensive line was fantastic on the tush pushes. They were bullying Jacksonville up front. They couldn't run the ball with James Cook, but anytime they ran a quarterback sneak, the Bills O-line dominated, and the defense made plays. That was the massive difference for Buffalo in this game. And in the postseason, they're going to need their defense to ball out. And they've been taking a lot of heat this year. But over the past, towards the end of the season, that defense has started to heat up. They're starting to do much better against the pass. They don't do particularly great against the run, but they start to tighten things up, especially against the pass. And like I said, that Jags offense, they were red hot coming into the postseason. So we'll see if the Bills defense can keep it up. But at the end of the day, as long as you got Josh Allen on your team, you always have a chance. It was one of the best games that I have seen from Josh Allen to complete 80% of your passes and basically be the offense in a sense for that game. It was absolutely spectacular, man. Josh Allen is one of one. He is a superhero, and he showed that yesterday. Big win for the Bills, man.